Hi, I'm Brent Green, and welcome to the Green Scene. Have you ever wondered what can grow out of the devastation of an earthquake? Well, today, we're at Hayes Valley Community Farm, where they have built a community garden in the center of the city. So let's go check out the regreening of destruction. At last, we're here at Hayes Valley Farm, and I've watched this place transform from a fallow piece of land filled with cement pillars from a broken down freeway. And now it is filled with beautiful plants and vegetables to feed the community. And today we have the co-director of Hayes Valley Farm, Jay Rosenberg. What inspired you all to do this?
Sure. In November of 2008, there was the economic crisis, which caused a lot of discomfort in the city and all over the country. It affected retail and certainly affected real estate, especially with respect to building on vacant lots. In July of 2009, the mayor, Gavin Newsom, signs the executive directive for a healthy and sustainable food system for San Francisco. That includes not only the people and the land, but the infrastructure of a city, all looking to become healthier and more sustainable. Almost a year after that economic crisis, the mayor's office came up with the idea to use these vacant lots to grow food, and started to meet with each of the neighborhood associations to look at the various lots available that were going to be perhaps developed someday, and see if we could use them in an interim fashion. This project started on January 24th, 2010, so just over 9 months ago, we opened up the gates and started building some soil.
So in a nutshell, the recession was your inspiration.
In so many ways, yeah.
So simple, huh? So from what I understand, this is the old on-ramp that we're standing on?
Yeah, and in fact, you can imagine cars just lined up, going up, brake, 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 stop and go until you get on the freeway. We were immediately concerned about lead-based toxins. In the very beginning of the project, we went and took samples from 64 spots on the site, core samples of soil, to actually measure things like lead and other toxins. 63 out of the 64 came back clean. Doing a thick layer of organic matter is one of the primary strategies for bioremediation, which is a way to let the earth clean the toxins themselves. The true concern when you're growing in toxic soils, when you're growing anything in a toxic soil, is that whether or not those toxins, like heavy metals deep in the ground, become bioavailable, come through the roots, and are available in the plant itself. The good news is most plants don't do a very good job at pulling toxins out of the soil, which is what bioremediation is. It's the intentional removing of toxins through plants and through organic matter. So we're going to continue those tests right here on that one spot.
So Jay, it seems to me that you all have a firm grasp of NPK. Now, can you tell me some of the systems that are at play here?
Sure. You know, we're starting with almost no soil at all. The old freeway, a lot of rocks that would hold the freeway up, they call it infill, and then a thin layer of soil that was on the sides of the road. Most of this place has been built with a clean slate. We put some cardboard right on top of the old ivy and on the old pavement. And on top of that, we started building soil. This is the idea, again, of something that you can do in the interim. To remove the pavement would be a tremendous investment. So what we started with is a thick layer of cardboard, which is carbon. Basically the same kind of carbon that would be in trees as they fall in the forest. If you look at the way the forest would build soil, you'd see that trees would fall and then leaves would fall, and that's nitrogen, and then more trees would fall and that would be more carbon, and then more nitrogen, and then from the ground up you'd have detritus and mushrooms and microorganisms coming up and mixing all together, building soil. Well, in the forest, it takes about 1,000 years to build an inch or two of topsoil. But rather than wait 1,000 years to do a few inches, what we're doing here, and you can see this right here, is we've layered the cardboard right on top of where the pavement line is. And on top of that, we'd add horse manure and wood chips, which makes a great nitrogen-carbon mix. And into that, we've planted the fava beans. Now, fava is a tremendous plant. It fixes its own nitrogen, and it actually harnesses it from the atmosphere. And afterwards, it'll convert it, working in a symbiotic relationship with a microorganism called a rhizobium. It'll store the nitrogen in its roots. All of these little white nodules, that's water-soluble nitrogen. originally stored by nature to produce the fava bean will actually come in and chop that fava bean right at ground level. And when the roots die back, the nitrogen nodules themselves will soak out into the ground. Time-release fertilizer.
And what's the technical term for this method that you're using?
We call it chop and drop.
Chop and drop. What are you all growing this season?
Well, we started out planting a lot of fava beans and a clover ground cover. But once that kind of settles in and we've added some fertility to the ground, we start growing strawberries, and we just planted a whole bunch of greens and a whole bunch of brassicas like cauliflower and cabbage and broccoli, and we started planting some squashes. So we have some cucumbers that we just put in. We don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to try anyway.
How do you all decide what's grown?
Something about San Francisco, and if you ask anyone who lives here, they'll tell you there's some crazy microclimates here. You turn around a hill one time and you'll go from the sunny side of town to the foggy side of town real quick. There's only about 3 or 4 other places on the planet that have the same climate as San Francisco. Cape Town in South Africa, the shores of Western Australia, and the Chilean, Peruvian mountainsides near where the Inca used to live. The Inca are the interesting one here because 1300s, 1400s, they had 1 million people that lived there, and they fed them all on the side of a mountain. So a lot of the techniques that they use, we've been looking into, and a lot of the crops they grew, we're trying to find.
What do you all have going on here besides farming?
Well, every Monday is Magic Mondays here for the kids, and we have kids programs where they bring field trips. I come for a few hours and get to work on the farm. And then we have an after-school program where the same kids are coming back every week, and they're getting to learn more and more about growing food. We do soils classes, and we do a whole permaculture program where we're exploring the design of applied ecology.
You all are really giving back to this urban area. It's like a nice respite from everything that's going on. You want to tell our viewers out there, look right into the camera and let those kids know where they can find you.
So this is Hayes Valley Farm, and we're in the center of San Francisco on the corner of Octavia and Fell and Oak and Laguna. It's a giant vacant lot that used to be where the freeway touched down. So if you take the Central Freeway, 101, all the way to where it ends, just keep on going and make a left, and we're right there. You better go to our website. That would be www.hayesvalleyfarm.com.
That's right, you heard them. www.hayesvalleyfarm.com. So we're here with...
My name is Beth Ferguson.
And Beth, can you tell us a little bit about what this is?
Yeah, this is a solar charging station for electric vehicles. It's called the Solar Pump. And we're kind of playing with ExxonMobil's Flying Pegasus, but we have an electric bike that's flying. And we're here at a community garden where we're going to have tables and chairs and outdoor plugs that will be using solar energy for people at the community garden to charge laptops, cell phones, and electric vehicles while they're visiting the beautiful Hayes Valley Farmers Farm.
Is there a charge?
There's no charge. Solar energy is free, and because the project has been built with a bunch of partners that have donated a lot of materials, we're able to set this up for the next few months for free for people to use and get the first experience with solar energy.
Wow. That's impressive. So this wraps our shoot with Hayes Valley Community Farm. It's always a beautiful thing to see what can happen when a whole community gets together, from the politicians to the kids in the schools. And remember, kids, it takes vision to transform a calamity into sustainable social progress. This is Brent Green from the Green Scene.